You are tuned in to On Air with Chris Shanafelt. Welcome back On Air with Chris Shanafelt as we continue our Player Spotlight series with the 2020 NFL Draft Class. And I'm now joined by the standout All-American tight end out of Lindenwood University, Erik Henneman. And Erik, I really appreciate you taking the time tonight. How's everything going as we are officially less than 1 month away from the start of the NFL Draft?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Everything's going well on my end. Just trying to stay safe in these critical times right now, dealing with the coronavirus. But everything's pretty good on my end so far.
Yeah, this is still pretty surreal to get over the coronavirus outbreak. That is certainly something I never thought I would see or live through. The pandemic that's going on all across the country and all across the world. So before we get to your collegiate career, Erik, what exactly have the past few months consisted of for you as you now pursue a professional football career? Where have you been training at? And it sounds like you were one of the many who fell victim to the coronavirus outbreak that, forced your pro day to get canceled.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So it's pretty unfortunate that our pro day did get canceled, but it could be a blessing in disguise. I always try to look at things on the brighter side. But since January, I've been combine prepping. Pretty much 6 days a week for about the past 3 or 4 months. Just until we heard that our pro day was canceled. I was doing my prep at the elite training facility out here in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was also using Athletic Republic. So I was just kind of trying to make the most of my resources. So try to use them to the best of my ability. I got linked up with some really good people. I was able to get in some really good work, and we were ready for the pro day. I was just gonna get ready to leave on that Saturday, a couple of days before the pro day. I was gonna make my way down there to Northwest Missouri. And have our pro day, and then they let us know that it's pretty much canceled. So here we are. Now I kind of have been transitioning my workouts and stuff like that, doing more field work, running more routes, catching more balls, doing more football savvy things since the last 2 weeks.
What are some of the numbers you think you would have put up at a pro day or a combine, Erik, if given the opportunity? And will you be doing a mock pro day at some point before the draft? I know some guys have been recording their pro day or their workouts and posting it on social media, trying to get the word out. Is that something that you may look into?
No, I haven't. At this point. I haven't been referred by my agency or my coaches to try to do that. When I spoke to my agency, they said that the NFL teams will more so rely heavily on film. And in my case, if they have a couple of teams that are interested in me, they'll just kind of hone in on those teams. So yeah, but with that being said, I was ready for the pro day. I was ready to roll. I was gonna run a mid 4.75, high 4.7s. That's what I was good. That's what I was aiming for. I had been testing out throughout the weeks around those times. Do a 34 on vert. Broad jump will be about probably about a 9, a 9.5 or 9.6. So that was pretty much it. My 20-yard shuttle would have been probably about a 4.37 or a 3-cone around 7.19. So I was super ready for the pro day, but now we just transition to the next chapter.
Right, and, very unfortunate for some of the smaller school guys such as yourself that you don't get the opportunity to work out at a pro day. But on the plus side, at least for you, Erik, you are a former All-American tight end there at Lindenwood. You had 2 really great years there at Lindenwood and really pushed out a lot of great film and tape for NFL teams to watch and scout. Now, looking at your journey to get to where you're at today, Erik, it's really impressive. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch had a great story, a great in-depth story on you. You're from Gretna, Louisiana, just outside of New Orleans, and coming out of high school, you took a year and a half off before making the move to Los Angeles, where you spent a year at Santa Monica City College and then a year at El Camino College, where, of course, you're playing football at both schools. What was the JUCO experience like for you overall?
The JUCO experience was great. I got myself into a situation with some people that really cared about me, and that's who I was able to be with for those 2 years. The only reason why I transferred from Santa Monica to El Camino is because my head coach, offensive coordinator, they were able to get a job at a bigger school with, more a better opportunity, and they wanted to bring me along, So I appreciated them, kind of showing me that loyalty, and I can only give them the same back. So with that being said, I got to play with some great teams at Santa Monica. We went 11-0, and I got to play with some really great players that I still keep in contact with today. I still keep in contact with a lot of my people from California. It was definitely a learning experience. That was my first time moving away from home. I was 21 when I was 20. I made 21 when I first moved out there. But just doing a lot of growing up and just being on your own. I'm kind of used to being on my own. To being alone, but there I was just able to just learn everything about myself, kind of just separate and elevate it. That's kind of like what my main thing was. I was ready to get out of New Orleans. I felt like it was holding me back, and I knew in order to get to where I wanted to be, I had to separate in order to elevate. So it was a great experience, man. It was some tough times, with not having a scholarship out there, not really being able to work, going to school, playing football. It's kind of you're paying your way. So you make the most of it. I lived in an apartment, man, with like 10 different people. We was all people, some people from St. Louis, some people from Chicago, all guys on my team. But it could be like 10 or 12 of us living in an apartment at one time, trying to make ends meet. Everybody trying to pay $300 for rent and not having a meal plan, man. It was a struggle, but and determined, and just staying true and just staying true to what I wanted to do. And trying to prove myself right, that this is something that I set out to do, that I want to do. So yeah, it was a great experience. I have nothing but good things to say about JUCO. Just know that if you are going to JUCO in the future, just get ready for a real life journey.
No doubt about it. And obviously, junior college football, very competitive, just like any other conference or division of football. And we've kind of seen that in wider lens thanks to the Last Chance University series on Netflix. Yeah. You had a really big year at El Camino, that second year of yours in the JUCO level, 35 receptions for 560 yards and 10 touchdowns. What was the recruiting scene like for you coming out of junior college? How did you ultimately find yourself in St. Charles, Missouri at Lindenwood University?
Yeah, so dealing with recruitment, being older, and being able to take a look at recruitment, to take a look at recruitment from that standpoint was very beneficial for me. I was like 23, 22, 23, going along within this process. So I got to kind of sift through a lot of, people trying to, sell me dreams or whatever it may have been. But with my situation, I was a 1-for-1 guy at a Division I school, or I could have did my, 2-for-2 at D2 or, whatever it may have been. So when it was coming down to the end of recruitment, I had a 1-for-1 to Alabama A&M or one of the schools like that. So I had that option, or I could go to Division II and, get my degree. So that was my main thing. I didn't want to just do the 1-for-1 and try to, shoot for the league. And then if I didn't make it, then I wouldn't have no degree or really nothing to show for it. So with that being said, I had my last offers, one from Central Washington and one from Lindenwood. Went on both visits and just really connected with the coaches from Lindenwood. And then, I made my decision. At the time, St. Charles was a good, it still is a good place for me. It's a kind of more of a slow-paced city. I can kind of focus on what I need to focus on, being from New Orleans and just not living in L.A. for the last 3 years, So it was a good setting for me.
And your first year at Lindenwood, you were named a first-team all-conference, all-region, and you were named an All-American by 3 different publications. You led the Lions with 57 receptions, 639 yards, and 9 touchdowns. 4 of those touchdowns coming in one game, which was against Missouri Southern. What allowed you to explode onto the scene your first year at Lindenwood and become a D2 All-American from the jump? I'm sure nothing was really guaranteed to you, Eric, heading into Lindenwood. How were you not only able to secure a spot on the team, become a starter, and then an impact player year one at Lindenwood?
I just think it's just just my determination and wanting to be great at every level that I have been at. In high school, I was all Metro. When I went JUCO, I was first team all conference. So when I head into Lindenwood, I have these same aspirations. I write down a lot of my goals all around. A lot of people visualize their goals, but I want to see my goals. So I wrote AllAmerican down on my mirror in my bathroom. So I walk past these different goals every day: 10 touchdowns, 50+ catches, All-American, back-to-back All-American, so these are goals, all goals that I had in mind and something that I wanted to do. I wanted to come in. I wanted to be a captain. My job was to come here and shift the culture. I was the first recruiting class with my coaches that came into Lindenwood, so it's very hard to try to shape a culture, and, at the end of the day, we ended up doing it, after 3 years. We won a conference championship. So, all the fruits came to labor. But yeah, I just had certain goals in mind. I want to be great. I want to stand out. I want to be a leader. I want to be a captain. So I go about doing everything to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And as a senior in 2019, Erik, Lindenwood changed conferences. You guys left the MIAA and moved into the GLVC. And Lindenwood football seen its first winning season since 2012 as you guys finished the regular season 8-3 and went onto the road and knocked off 5th-ranked Ouachita University 41-38. Before unfortunately falling to Northwest Missouri State on the road the following week. Not only did the team have great success last season, Erik, but you put up career-high numbers as well, 63 catches, 699 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Just take us through what this past season was like to not only put up the career numbers that you did, but to go on a run that you guys did as a team as well. I mean, as I said, it's the first winning season that Lindenwood football had seen in 7 or 8 years. What's it like to leave the program in a better spot than where it was when you first arrived?
Oh, it's amazing. Like I said, that's what I came here to do. That's what I know. The coaches, they brought me in here to be a piece to this puzzle, and great teams are led by great leaders. Coaches do a lot too, but the players, it's our team, so we have to take charge of how we want to perform. So being here in the summer, that played a big role. Just everybody honing in to just all believing that we can win instead of hoping that we would win. So yeah, just coming to a senior year, how I want to go out on top. I want to go out with a ring. My goal was always to win conference championship, to win a ring. That was my goal. So I'm willing to do, whatever it took to do that. And it's really something special to see, and after I sit back and just look at how far the team has come, man, it's beautiful. That's my brothers for life, all the coaches and everything. It was something truly special. And I think Lindenwood football has, really made a name for itself now.
What did it mean to you to win the most inspirational player of the year award for the Lindenwood football team? I mean, again, you have an amazing story, and now here you are on the doorsteps of the NFL. To wrap up your Lindenwood career, having a career year, bringing the program its first winning season in almost 10 years, and then to cap it off, most inspirational player of the year. Did that mean anything to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It means the most to me. That's what I tell my story to, influence and inspire anybody, that has been dealt maybe, a tough, deck of cards, So everybody knows that's how I am. I want to spread my story, like I said, to influence people. So I'm always the one, asking how are you, or giving out my phone number and making sure that people know that they can call me if they need me, man. I've been through a lot. Being the oldest one on the team, like for sure, like I just want to spread all the wisdom and any type of inspiration I can give to them, So I look at it as an honor for even, a whole group of guys, a team to look up to me as the most inspirational person. Yeah, that means a lot. That means a lot to me.
We're chatting with 2020 NFL draft prospect Erik Henneman, the tight end out of Lindenwood University, the All-American tight end out of Lindenwood University here on air. And Erik, I know the NFL is no stranger to Lindenwood University. I remember interviewing Pierre Desir back when he came out of Lindenwood. I want to say that was already, 2014, 2015. Now he's on the New York Jets. Connor Harris, standout linebacker. He had his NFL career with the New York Jets as well. I'm sure teams have been through Lindenwood the past couple of years, Erik. Have you been able to meet with any teams over the past couple of years? What's some of the feedback that you've received? Any idea how they might be viewing you as a prospect for the next level?
Yes, sir. Over the past, I've been here 3 years. So I think John Harris last year was the guy that I kind of got to play with that brought in a lot of NFL attention. Mm-hmm. So 2 years ago, scouts were coming in, checking him out, and spoke to a couple, the previous years. But it really wasn't much of nothing until this season when I felt like things were coming, specifically for me, to talk to me. So I sat down with the Saints, the Bears, the Jets, and a couple other teams. But they mostly just speak to me about how they would use me in their system. I may not be the prototypical tight end for every system, and I believe every player, fits better in certain systems, So they just speak to me towards that about using me more so as like an H-back or the U position or, somewhere like that. Just move around a lot, motion a lot, spreading out in the slot, different type of things like that, trying to stretch the field, be a hybrid tight end, try to be as dynamic as I can be for anything.
I kid you not, Erik. The next question I have written down here. Have you ever been used as an H-back at all throughout your career? We're based out of Chicago. You mentioned the Bears were one of the teams that you had previously spoken to. I think, when watching your game, Erik, I really think that could be a position that you could thrive in here in Chicago.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got that advice from them. They were the ones that kind of spoke to me about using me in the H position. So actually this year, I specifically played the H position opposed to the year before I played Y. So, the previous year when I played Y, I was more attached, hand in the dirt. But this season, it was kind of hard for me to take advantage of offenses like that coming out of the Y position, trying to win games for my team. So, being that I was like the main target, it's kind of easy to lock in on a tight end that is, attached to the line. Having to go through 3 levels, it may be, got to get past the DN, then getting caught by the linebacker, then they got a safety waiting on me. So versus this year when I played more of the 8th position, I played, off the line or in the slot more so, and it was just easier for me, just more one-on-one matchups. Just better for my team all around. And so I'm mostly concerned about being able to win for my team, and doing whatever it takes. So if that means me, changing to the 8th position, versus the Y, that's what I did. And I took it in stride and did the most that I could do with it. So, yeah, it's cool. I don't mind playing the H position, Y position, wherever they need me at.
A team-first guy, no surprise at all. Erik, I see the Lindenwood website has you listed at 6'3", 235 pounds. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. I'm around that time trying to gain a few more pounds before April or May. I'm sure I will be up to at least 240.
Awesome. A few more questions for Erik Henneman, the standout tight end out of Lindenwood University, 2020 NFL Draft prospect. For those not familiar with your game, Erik, what would you say is your biggest strength that you bring to the tight end position?
It would be stretching the field in jump ball situations, attacking the ball at its highest point, scoring. That was my main concern. I want to score. I want to put some points on the board for my team. So with that being said, trying to making those tough catches down the field in double coverage, making that big touchdown or catching that fade ball, that's what I think, separates me. Tagging the ball as highest point, and catching and scoring it.
Well, and you certainly scored a lot the past 2 years. You scored 19 touchdowns. What about your most memorable play that you've made throughout your collegiate career, Erik? You could go back to your junior college days or even as recently as this past season. When you're looking, 5, 10, 15 years down the road and you look back to your collegiate career, Erik, what's the first play that'll pop into your mind?
That's tough, but I'd have to say a memory from this past season, winning the game, catching the game-winning touchdown against Truman State, and which was homecoming, it's conference game. So it was the big stage. I'm always ready for the big stage, never feeling any pressure. So I scored 2 touchdowns within the last 70 seconds of the game. So yeah, icing the game like that's probably my fondest memory so far. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's no better feeling, Erik, than when opposing teams know. And you guys had some playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Don't get me wrong, but when the game's on the line and opposing teams know who's going to get the ball and they still get the ball and end up winning the game, I'm sure there's no better feeling than when you're that person.
For sure, especially being underrated. Always they come into Lindenwood thinking whatever it may be, taking us lightly or whatever like that. So I always try to go super hard in situations like that. And it was, I think they were a ranked opponent. We were unranked. So big-time players make big-time plays.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. How about players that you like to model your game after? Is there an NFL player or two that you like to take bits and pieces of their game and add it onto your own?
Honestly, I don't. I want to try to bring something new to the game. I would like to bring a different type of style, to the game, whether it could be, small things. But I really don't spend too much time watching film of different tight ends. I have a lot of people I respect in the game, and I like how they play. But I don't necessarily try to model my game. I try to do what I can do best, and just really focus on that.
And final question, let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're tuned into this very interview. Why should they want the All-American tight end out of Lindenwood University, Erik Henneman, a part of their team?
I believe if you're looking for someone to come in ready to play on a mature level and ready to win and willing to do whatever it takes, I'm that guy. All I need is a chance, and I promise you won't regret it. Hard worker, loving guy. I make sure I keep God first. I'm a family man. I won't bring any issues, anything like that. Just a hard-working football player that's willing to do whatever to win and to make the big plays.
Erik, congrats on all the success. A hell of a story, and really looking forward to seeing where you land next month as we are officially under 1 month away from the 2020 NFL Draft. The Bears fan in me is hoping that you land in Chicago. They could use some help at the tight end position, my man.
Yeah, for sure. Since I moved to the Midwest, I've became a big fan of Chicago. So I love Chicago. I'd love to be there.
Bears fans love to hear. Erik, thank you again for your time and all the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it so much.